Stick to the Pod, episode 9. We'll get the monkey out of the room straight away. Yes, there was no episode last week for obvious reasons. If you don't know why, you were probably living under a rock. I'm not going to go into too much details. I'm not really going to talk about it at all, if I'm being honest. I spoke a lot about it since the incident happened. Got bombarded with crap at work, with people not understanding and giving their pennies worth, which didn't put me in the best of mood, so I certainly didn't want to do an episode on the back of that crap. So, like others, I just stepped away for a while, had my own thoughts. Yeah, just counted down till we got going again. Yes, there was games last weekend, which I'm going to cover in a moment, but I still stayed pretty silent, quite a bit of stuff, just due to be no Stars game. So I was trying to keep my head down a little bit longer. There was games played on that unfortunate weekend, and I'm just going to cover over them now. Didn't bother finding scorers, didn't bother taking notes down from that weekend. As you can imagine, there was a lot more going on in the world of ice hockey, and then trying to find out who's played, who scored, etc. So I'm just going to quickly score over games and the results. My opinion, whether these games should have went ahead or not, especially on the Sunday, obviously. I'm going to keep that to myself. No point going into it, no point arguing about it. The games went ahead, it is what it is. So from the actual Saturday itself, the weekend of the 28th, 29th, Saturday the 28th. First game was the only game up on the Saturday, and that was the Solihull Barons taking a 5-3 victory over the Widnes Wild. I'm not going to go into details. 5-3 victory for the Wild, who are starting to impress this season. We'll get into that a little bit more later on. From the Sunday, Stars Lions postponed for obvious reasons. The next game, D-side 8, Barons 7, Sheffield 2, Blackburn Hawks 5, and the Warriors getting the monkey off back after a 5-game losing streak. Warriors 7, Widnes Wild 1. So that's it for that weekend. Don't want to go back there. It was tough as it was. Yeah, that's it. In the last weekend, I'll quickly go through the fixtures before I go through the results. Obviously, there was no preview for last weekend. Didn't want to do one. Didn't do one. Got a light shining bright in my eye here, and it's affecting me going through my fixtures. I should really put the big light on. Anyway, fixtures on the Saturday, we had Hull versus Widnes. We had Nottingham versus D-side. Sunday, we had the Blackburn Hawks and the Solihull Barons, the D-side Dragons and the Nottingham Lions, the Sheffield Scimitars and the Whitley Warriors, and the Widnes Wild and the Hull Jet. So we'll go back up onto the Saturday, and just like death, taxes, and anything else that's pretty much guaranteed in life, Hull won at home, 4-2 against the Widnes Wild. Your usual goal scorers of Beach, Haggard grabbing 2, and I believe it's Declan Jones. It's Declan Jones. He's the one who's on the two-way with the Seahawks. And the goal scorers for the Widnes Wild, Williamson and Britton. Again, I'm not too shocked at this. Hull are proving to be a team on home ice. And we'll go into a little bit more about the teams after I went through the results. Because obviously I made a few predictions at the start of the season in my first podcast. So I'm probably going to go over that slightly a little bit and just give you all a little bit of update on my thoughts there and who, where and when. And I'll hopefully try and pull up the league table as well. And we can discuss that a little bit as well. The next fixture on the Saturday was probably the toughest of the weekend for this particular team. And that was the Nottingham Lions playing a home game against the D-side Dragons, who, by the way, are now up to full strength. And they are showing all that firepower that I did speak about at the start of the season. And I believe they could be the league's form team. Is it 6-7 games on a row now that they're winning? 10-3 victors. The Lions goal scorers, as you would expect, Yoki Yama's on the scoreboard. Grimshaw, seen quite a lot of his names this season. And he's putting the puck in the net. And obviously the usual suspects for the Dragons of Lucy hat-trick. Kinney on the score sheet. Parry on the score sheet. Kennedy on the score sheet. Clancy's grabbed 2. Wainwright's grabbed 1. Shaw's grabbed 1. So yeah, what you would expect. Did I expect such a scoreline? Not quite sure. Can't really work out the lines this year. I expected a big improvement from them. And it's harsh to say that they haven't improved, but they have been on some hidings like they were in the early days when they stepped up. Anyway, into Sunday, and they're probably, the shock result. Yeah, I'm going to go with this is the shock result for me is the Blackburn Hawks 7 and the Solihull Barons 3. Now, I've seen a post after that from one of the owners of the Blackburn Hawks saying this is what we're capable of, this is what we can do at full strength. And I don't think anyone would doubt that. I know they've had a couple of injuries, but so has every team. I think Stars have had 3 or 4 players missing. The G-side Dragons have had a bad start this season, which the Stars took advantage of. The Warriors, crazy amount of injuries. Jesus, that is madness what's going on up there. And we'll get to them also a bit later on. But yeah, Hawks 7-3 victors over the Barons. As you'd expect for the Barons, Otterson's got all 3 goals. If I was to look into the assists, I would fully expect to see Dan and Phil Mulcahy's name there as well. For the Hawks, who I know Jirinox has been away injured and he's back, he's got a couple of goals on the night. Barnes got a goal. Davies, as he always just the old man, the old father time, Mr. Aaron Davies pulling another one in. And then goals from Phillips and Warnock and Riddick as well. So yeah, a couple of the usual suspects, but a great win for the Blackburn Hawks. And I dare say a great win for the Billingham Stars as well. So you got to thank you from me there, Blackburn. Next result, the second of the 2 games between the D-side Dragons and the Nottingham Lions on home ice. It's a 6-0 victory for the D-side, as you expect. 2 of the main names on the score sheet, Jessen hat-trick, McKinney getting 2, and Parry as well for the 6-0 victory over the Lions. I'm going to go to, a shock to the system here, I think. Hull Jets winning on the road. Well done, Hull Jets. You finally got the monkey off your back. But a 5-0 victory at Widnes Wild. What is going on at Widnes? You know what? I won't get into too much of it now. We'll touch on Widnes a little bit after the preview, because I think we all saw social media go bonkers midweek. And the other victory, well done to the Sheffield Scimitars, who get a penalty shot victory over the Whitley Warriors. I'm not that shocked, honestly, really not. I speak to a good pal of mine about Whitley Bear on a daily basis, just like I used to do with Whitley legend Bobby Dixon all those years ago. We used to talk daily about hockey and the league itself and how the league could be better, and not even about our own team, just genuine hockey. This lad, he's kind of filled Bobby's space for me. I speak to him daily about hockey. It's great to speak with him. And yeah, and we spoke, and we weren't shocked. I think the Warriors were 3-1 up. Sheffield got it back to 3-3, and you could just see it happening. Following on Twitter, you could just see what was going to happen, and the Scimitars get a statement victory by all means. Yeah, let's not take it away from Sheffield. It was a statement victory. It'll certainly get people paid attention, saying, "Oh, look, you see the Sheffield Scimitars, they got a shock win." But in the grand scheme of things, don't think it was that big a shock. In the form of the Warriors, I know they got that 7-1 victory over Widnes from the previous week, but as I say, there's something not right at the Widnes Wild, and we'll cover that later on. So the goal scorers for the games mentioned there, the 5-0 to the Hull Jets. You've got Jones, Hager, as you'd always expect, Morris and Kent getting 2. And in for the Whitley 4-3 game, which was a penalty shot, Grigors, Ross and Queen in for the Warriors. And for the Sheffield Scimitars, we had Fraley, Rogers, I can't make out the other name, and the game-winning penalty shot from Keelan. So just to quickly go through those results of last weekend. On the Saturday, it was Hull Jets 4, Widnes Wild 2, Nottingham Lions 3, the D-side Dragons 10. Then on the Sunday, it was the Blackburn Hawks 7, the Solihull Barons 3, the D-side Dragons 6, Nottingham Lions 0, Sheffield Scimitars 4, Whitley Warriors 3, penalty shots, and the final game of Widnes Wild 0 and the Hull Jets 5. So yeah, we're gonna go. How are we gonna do this? Shall we talk a little about what's going on, or should we just get straight into the preview? We'll get straight into the preview of the weekend's fixtures, and we can talk about the subjects of those teams as and when they rise. So a couple of games this Saturday, tomorrow as I speak. It might be today as you listen. It might be tomorrow as you listen. It all depends how the good lady gets the editing done. And if she can get it out tonight, great. If not, it will be the Saturday that you'll be listening, the day of the games. So first up is the Stars. Obviously, the extended layoff due to the issue that happened a couple of weeks ago, the incident. So they've had a good couple of weekends off. As good as that full strength as the Stars can be. We've still got the long-term injury of Callum Wilkinson and the suspension still over Patrick Grigors, which I don't know if it's going to be extended by a game due to missing a game, whatever. That's an IHA problem, not mine. And the other game is the Wild versus the Barons. So Stars Sheffield, nothing really to go into. Hopefully there's a good crowd for the Stars. Like I say, it's been a couple of weeks since we've had any action. The Sheffield Scimitars, I'm sure, are going to come in bouncing. They're going to have lots of energy. 2-game weekend. They've just beat the Warriors. Last time they were on Teesside, they were beat 7-0. So they've got a point to prove. But if Stars turn up as we'd expect them to after a 2-week layoff, I know it can be the rust. Everyone says you can get rust, but sometimes that little rest, that little break, time to regroup, collect your thoughts, get yourselves together and go again, could work in the Stars' favour. Obviously, I do expect the Stars win, but as this league's shown this year, anything can happen. The other game, well, the Widnes Wild. Going at this game against the Barons, 2 players light. They decided to release 2 players. No, they were sacked, basically. And they were sacked by text message. Now, there's a way of doing things, and I know Joey Coulter, and respect to him for coming out later that evening and say, you know what, I hold my hands up. I'm a young coach. I probably did that all wrong. But come on, you've got to think about things sometimes. While you're typing out that text, you must be thinking, hold on, if this was me on the other end of this text, how would I feel? How would I feel? Now, fortunately, I've had the privilege to read one of those texts, and it's not my place to put out in public, and I won't be talking about it in detail now. I've read what it says, I know what it says, but come on, you're a better human than that. Never mind a coach, never mind all the crap of your job's on the line. You're a better human than that. Just put the human element into things sometimes. I know I can't talk. I've been a twat over the years on social media and saying this, that, and the other, but you know, I've done a lot of growing up, as many people tell me. But just put the human aspect into things. If you're letting someone go, just have a think about things. To let someone go via text is shocking, and I just really hope Joe Coulter meant that apology that was put out a couple of hours after the statement. Obviously, social media and AHL North blew up big time. Partners of the 2 players weren't happy, and rightly so. And my miss is the same. If my credibility, if I'm being questioned, my actions are being questioned personally, of course it's going to rub someone up the wrong way. So I have no qualms with them to getting involved and saying this, that, and the other on social media. I know 1 or 2 people said they should pipe down, shut up, and stay out of it, but it doesn't work like that. Anyway, I'm just rambling on about the situation now, so we'll move on into the Sunday fixtures. And for me, the fixture of the weekend. Teesside Dragons versus the Hull Jets. Hull Jets have got a taste now for points on the road. Yep, it might only be that 1 victory, but that's all it takes. 1 victory on the road to set them on their merry way. So I certainly will be keeping a close eye on that. I know the Dragons have signed a new import. A few things on social media going around him in his own personal social media. By no means, well, it's bollocks really. You shouldn't be saying, and it may be his views, but to put them in public like that when you're a hockey player, you just don't do things like that. You can put your club, well, your employers in a difficult situation, which it will have. Hence their statement about views and beliefs. But yeah, to sign a player like that and not do a little bit of background checking and doing a little bit of homework was a bit silly from D-side, in my opinion. His views are obviously very outdated. Let's hopefully from now on he forgets about that and lets his hockey do the talking. They're on a very good win streak at the moment on the D-side Dragons. They're certainly the team that's on fire. They're the hot team. And they look like they're going in for that number 1 spot. So season's going to head into the new year. Well, even for the rest of this year, some of the fixtures out there are tasty fixtures. But looking at this January, February time, looking at those fixtures where everyone meets again, it's certainly going to be an absolutely exciting season. Second game on my list here is the Nottingham Lions versus the Billingham Stars. I do expect the Stars just to come in, do the job, be clinical as they can be, and get the victory. Another fixture is the Sheffield Scimitars versus the Widnes Wild, and I'm actually expecting a Sheffield win here. With all the things that's going on at Widnes, rumours are flying around about new coaches, and has Joey bought himself a bit of extra time making the roster changes that he's made. Time will only tell. I know a few things got sent to me in my inbox regarding maybe a former player going back as coach. So I think only time will tell, and it'll be interesting to see if Joey Cutler can turn things around. I'm sure he'll be on the phone to his old coach, Martin Grubb himself, see if he can take any little bit of advice that he can to turn things around at the Wild. And the last fixture is the Whitley Warriors and the Blackburn Hawks. Now, I do expect the Hawks to win this game, just on form. No other reason than I think the Hawks are a better team than the Warriors. I think it's just on form. But I do think the Warriors will have a lot of jump in the legs, because it will be the return of Jordan Barnes, who's had a year out. It'll be interesting to see how he goes. We know there's been a lot of big bans this year. Referees have been a lot stricter. There's thrown out there 5, 6, 7, 10 games. So it'll be interesting to see how Jordan goes in that respect. And also, I don't think it's any secret that he had a bit of a knee injury that required treatment, which he had last season, which kept him out of last season, and was debatable whether he was ever going to return. Obviously, he's made that decision to come back now. So it'll be interesting to see how he goes. And from the past, and like I say, talking to my mate up in Whitley Bay, these games are always physical games. These games are always something. There's always something going on. There's always something happening. So it'll be very interesting. I know the Warriors crowd are going to be massively up for that game as well, with the return of Jordan Barnes. They are clamming for that old school hockey. They're clamming for that style of hockey to return up at Hillheads. And it's only time again will tell whether the Tony Hand reverts back to that old Whitley Warriors way. So time will tell. So yeah, that's the preview for the weekend. We spoke on a couple of subjects there. Deeside Dragons and their new import. But we've also got to commend them for that run that they're on. Yeah, the start of the run. The start of the run was quite a good one for them. I think they had Sheffield and Nottingham a couple of times in that run. I think they've only really beaten, I want to say, Hull at home and the Barons twice at home. I think one of those Barons games, Barons were missing 8 or 9 players, so that's going to make a big difference. But you still got to commend a team that's on a 5-6 game burner, and all credit to them. They've got the tails up. It's no shock to say the form turned around when McKinney came back from suspension, so he's having a massive impact in the room. And I fully believe that they've got their eyes on the title. I know Sean Bemerton very well. He's worked very hard to get this team to where they're at. Spoke to him on many nights when he didn't know if it was going to be possible due to last season and the rink issues that they had. We all know the state of the rink due to COVID, but they're back. And we knew they'd be back this year stronger, being able to train. Last year they couldn't train. They didn't have a pre-season, so the whole season was pretty much their pre-season, just finding the legs. And then they've added to that roster Brody Jessen from Telford. They brought in another import. So this team means business. And you could argue, are they just taking over? Are they taking over as slight favourites for the league title? Could well be. Only time will tell. The Barons, I don't know where I'm at with the Barons. I think I did a preview on them at the start of the season, and I think I was quite right in what I said about them. Obviously, there was quite a few players that I was unsure about because they signed from the Southern Division. I'm not all that clued up on the South. I don't know. Watch the highlight from some of the games that you can get highlights for. I know they get nothing from home games, but they do look like a team. If you can shut that top line down, if you can shut Otterson, Mulcahy, and Mulcahy down, do kind of run out of ideas. It might. That's what clubs might have to do. It might take a monumental effort to stop that line, because that line is as good as any in the division. And I think 36 points Otterson has now, 10 clear of the next person, I think, in the same games played. But yeah, are they going to be able to last the season? I think is what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to get to. Are they going to have the stamina? Is that one line going to be there all season? Can they hack it for the full season? Do they bring in reinforcements themselves and try and get some scoring depth? Because I think at the moment, after them three, the next best scorer is a D-man. I think it's Crow, which are primarily power play goals after looking into. Lions, tough one for me to say. From what I've seen of them so far, Unfortunately, they've only been humped the times I've managed to see them. But yeah, I still think there's always a shock in them. Billingham always never seem to have had an issue with them, but I know some teams have, with being close games, or other teams have managed to get last minute winners and stuff like that. You can only imagine that they are improving season on season. Myself personally, I haven't seen that yet. But I don't mean they are digressing by any stretch. The Warriors, yeah, we covered on them. Just goal scoring. We've said it in week 1, week 2, week 3. We said it in the preview. They're just not getting the goals that they lost. There is rumours that one of those goal scorers could be back in the next few weeks, so time will tell again. And keep the eyes on the social media from the Whitley Warriors point of view. Is there another signing coming in? Is one of those goal scorers going to return? We'll soon see. They brought in Jordan Barnes. Great hockey player, to be fair. Great hockey player. Scores goals, hits, fights, does whatever he takes for his team. True team leader. And a player that every team in this division and the National League would love to have. Stars, nothing to report on the Stars. Players, the 2 players still missing, so they're nearly back at full strength. What I'll try and do, I'll try and talk and get the league table up at the same time. We'll have a quick run through the league table. But yeah, back on. But the Stars, there's nothing really to report there. They are being, I think, what we all expected them to be. They are going to be up there or thereabouts. Would I say they were favourites? I would probably say just. We've been the only team that's kind of blew every team away to a point. Teams not being able to live with us. I know we've only played the Barons once. Hawks games, even though it was a 1-goal game at their place, Stars were far better, the better team. But everyone else is pretty much being blown away. They hammered the Dragons twice. Granted, they weren't under strength, but you still got to go out there and do it. Who else we got left? Who have I missed? The Jets, still unbeaten at home. Who's going to be that first team to take the points off the Hull Jets? Just going about their business as they do. Very well-drilled side. Don't play above themselves. But no, they're not littered with all the talent in the world. Like the Barons have that top line that's scoring goals. Stars have Sykes scoring, Elders scoring, Mossy scoring, Grithans is scoring. The Hawks have that top line. Dragons are stacked with goal scoring. Hull Jets pretty much do have Beach, Hagger, and Declan Jones as well. So yeah, it's certainly been an exciting season. You're certainly not jumping online looking at results of years gone by and seeing Solway 12, Billingham Stars 5, or Solway 12, Lions 0. Those results are starting to be behind us, which is only a good thing for the league. Sorry if I'm going quiet as well. I'm just trying to bring up the league table just to run through that with you guys. It has been a few weeks. But yeah, we have the league table. So what I will say as well, the Stars having 2 weekends off, one forced and one due to stupid fixtures, I should say. 5 away games on the bounce, 2 blank weekends in November. Yeah, well played. But yeah, we've talked about that. We won't go there again. So at the top, 11 games played. I think everyone's played 11 games now. Well, not the Warriors have played 12. So from Billingham being 3-4 games in front of everyone, they're now level with everyone except the Whitley Warriors, who have played 12. So everyone's played 11 except the Warriors. They played 12. So we'll start at the top. Billingham Stars, 8 wins, 3 losses, 16 points, 30 goals conceded, 69 goals scored. Second place, Blackburn Hawks, 7-4, 48 goals scored, 14 points. Deeside Dragons, also 7-4, 54 goals scored, 14 points. Hull Jets, also 7-4, 37 goals scored, 14 points. Solihull Barons, also 7-4, 50 goals scored, 14 points. Whitley Warriors, 12 games played, 6-5, that's 6 wins, 5 losses, 36 goals scored, 13 points on the board. Go down to after the Warriors. So yeah, after the Warriors we have the 7th placed Nottingham Lions, 11 games played, 2-7, 6 points on the board, 31 goals scored. Widnes Wild, 3-8, 6 points on the board, 23 goals scored. Sheffield Scimitars, also 3-8, 6 points on the board, 26 goals scored. So you can just see from there, like the teams, it was Stars are top by 2 points. Then you have second, third, fourth, fifth, all on 14 points. Warriors on 13, and there's a bit of a big drop to the bottom three, with the bottom three on 6 points. But yeah, now looking at the league table and looking at goals for and against, you've got your Stars who scored 69 goals with only 30 conceded. You can kind of see where Hull Jet's strength is. They've had fantastic net minding this year with their record. Only 37 goals scored, but only 28 conceded for the best defensive record in the division. Just quickly scrolling through, the Warriors, 36 goals scored, 35 conceded. So you can see what's going on there a little. And Widnes Wild, and this just tells you everything you need to know. 23 goals scored, 51 conceded. They're just not putting the puck in the net, and they're not getting the best out of the two-way netminders that they have in Harrison Walker and Luca DeSardri. They're not getting no protection. I've already given a bit of a beat down on the Widnes, so I don't want to go too much on them, but they have been the worst team I've seen this year. They were far worse when Billingham went to their place. And I can't remember what the score was. Was it 8-2, 8-3, 9-3 or something? They were worse than what the Scimitarrs were at Billingham. Home opener in Billingham at the start of the season. Whether that's a numbers thing, a coach's thing, thankfully not my decision to make. Thankfully it's not me watching that week in, week out. But you can see a lot of fans on the social media aren't happy with the way things are going. So again, if you're just a hockey fan out there, certainly keep an eye on Widnes and see how they turn things around. Back to the league table. Is there anything else to go over? No, what you would expect from the Sheffield, who are having obviously a much better season than last season, with 6 points on the board. They've only scored 3 more goals than Widnes and conceded 1 less, but are obviously bottom due to head-to-heads. But yeah, that's about it, folks. Bit of a longer episode than normal. I know it's another later episode this week. I have had a few emails and messages asking if I would mind doing updates on Division 2, which I think I will add. Probably won't go into details about those games. I only really know what's going on with the Buccaneers, obviously due to being based in Billingham. But I don't really follow the league that much. I don't really know many of the players, but I certainly don't mind gathering the score lines, going through the score lines and maybe the fixtures of the coming weekend, so give you the results and a preview of their games. Other than that, yeah, moving forward, that's how things might just a quick splattering of information from NIHL 2 and then our usual stuff on NIHL North 1. Obviously, you will get more in-depth information on the Billingham Stars as I do watch them home and away, as I probably will do this weekend. Next week, I'm not sure how the podcast is going to go next week. It may have to be a Monday or Tuesday night recording for you to be sort of an early week podcast, as I do go to Sweden on Wednesday for the Global Series, off to watch the Red Wings at last. Finally get to see my NHL team in action over in Sweden. Not back until late Saturday. No Stars game again, so there'll be no, other than the NHL hockey, there'll be no hockey for me. So I may just get one out early next week. So yeah, unless there's any other major talking points that happens, we should be back to normal next week. Obviously, I will say our thoughts are out to Adam Johnson's family. Never easy, but that's all we're saying on the matter. So our thoughts are with Adam Johnson's family. That's going to be a wrap for this episode. I've rambled on long enough. Do drop me a message. Stick to the pod on Twitter. I'll actually give you I should really do this every week and give you the official handles. Just bear with me. I should know these off the top of my head, but I don't. So there's Twitter is Stick to the Pod. So feel free to drop me a line on there, whether you just drop me in a mention or send me a DM, that's fine. Facebook page, I'll pull this one up as well. Might as well do things properly. Is just Stick to the Pod. Feel free to drop me a private message. For those of you that know me personally, honestly, I do not mind. Drop me a message. I'll talk hockey all day, every day, with anyone who cares to listen. There's a few folk out there know when they get messages at 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning when I'm wide awake. And also the YouTube channel. I need to do more with the YouTube, and use it to its full capabilities. So any ideas, drop me a message. Like I say, stick to the pod on Twitter, stick to the pod on Facebook. The email address is sticktothe pod@gmail.com. If you want to drop me an email, drop me a line anywhere that you know to. Give the YouTube page a like and subscribe. I believe it helps quite a lot. Don't really know or understand the analytics of all this stuff, but do give the pages a like and a share. Try and spread the name of NIHL North Moralee Conference far and wide. Get your friends interested, get your friends listening. If they're new to hockey, I'll do my best to try and explain what's going on around the league. But yeah, for now, that's the end of it. And I'll speak to you early next week. Bye for now.